Things just took a sickening turn in the Kevin Durant contract extension talks, as new reports are saying that neither side is close to a deal and that Durant will play on an expiring contract this season. We give you all the latest right here on Rockets Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. As always, before we get going, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free, and I would love it if you could join us here and get all the latest information, news, and updates on your Houston Rockets. Not exactly the report I wanted to be bringing you today, but something of note for sure. Rockets and Kevin Durant are not close on a contract extension. Now, if you're a little bit confused, I'll kind of give you a quick backstory here. So obviously, we know the Rockets made the trade for Kevin Durant, sending Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and 5 second-round picks to Phoenix for KD. However, Kevin Durant is on an expiring deal this upcoming season, and the talk around the town was the Rockets were going to extend him, and it really should have been done by now. At least that was the initial report. But it seems like that things are not going as smoothly as people would have hoped. Kevin Durant had talked multiple times about maybe taking less on a contract extension, and now it seems like the Rockets aren't going to offer him a max contract, but it's an interesting situation to say the least. And we've got a lot to talk about, but kind of first go into the official tweet here, a full court pass, and kind of a little bit, but it's obviously from Hoops Hype, and here it kind of is. Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets are not close on a contract extension per Amigo Hoops. Durant remains headed towards free agency next summer with an expiring contract worth $54.7 million. So obviously he has a lot of money to earn this season, and the Rockets expect a lot out of him. That's not something to be, quiet about, but it's more about what's upcoming next. And this is kind of where we go deeper. Sam Miko of Hoops Wire saying, quote, ESPN's Tim McMahon recently reported that Houston may not offer Durant a full maximum extension, and that Durant and his representatives might not be pushing for one. McMahon added the Rockets are not expected to panic if the season begins without an agreement in place, end quote. Not exactly what I wanted to hear. I know that the Rockets organization is like, don't panic. He's, we want him to be under contract, but if he's not under contract by the start of the season, it's okay. I just know that if he is locked up for the next, including this year, 3 years, I believe that'll allow him to play more fluid. I believe that'll allow for a lot of people to kind of be able to understand that he's going to stay here and maybe just take a sigh of relief, have more fun with this season rather than saying, okay, we're going to have to pay this guy next season. Now, again, I talked about it multiple times on the show, but Kevin Durant had said that he was going to take a less than max extension. And it seems like that is still kind of the idea, but a deal for whatever reason is not being put together. Kevin Durant could take over a $20 million pay cut on a contract extension. These are headlines that we have seen for months now. And that's kind of the biggest thing with me of, okay, if Kevin Durant and his staff are not pushing for a max contract extension, and the Rockets, who have said time and time they want to have Kevin Durant and have a lot of people around him, are obviously not willing to pay a max contract, what's the waiting game here? Why are we sitting back and looking at this contract and saying, okay, why isn't a deal done? Well, a couple of different things to talk about. Durant, who is eligible to sign a 2-year extension through June 30th of next year, that could pay him as much as $120.4 million. That deal would start at $57.9 million for the 2026-2027 season and increase to $62.5 million in the 2027-2028 season. But we saw from reports, okay, he's going to take a $20 million decrease. Well, there's a lot of money kind of being negotiated here. And if we look at the Rockets cap table for next season, because obviously this year, pretty much in a place where we know what it's going to be like. I don't think there's going to be many more moves, and at least until a trade deadline in terms of contract talks and cap space, first apron space, all that stuff. So next year, you've got $68 million before the first apron. The cap space is the cap space. It's only of 86. Whatever. I'm looking at the first apron because the luxury tax is the luxury tax. The Rockets have shown they're okay with the luxury tax. It's the first apron luxury tax that they're going to be like, okay, let's not go into that. That's with our hard cap. So $68 million. You're talking about $57 million of it going to Kevin Durant. But we know from contract talks, he's going to take a $20 million decrease, right? Well, there's a lot more to that. Here is a little bit more of a deeper dive on the contract situation. If he allows the current contract to expire, so this contract goes out, then Durant could technically pursue a 3-year maximum deal valued at $187.6 million. That option would avoid complications from the league's over 38 rule. Another possibility would be a +1 deal structured the same as the extension, giving him flexibility while keeping his earnings near the top tier. Now, a lot of things to dive into in that first paragraph. First of all, a 3-year deal for him would be crazy, but tell he's right. He's not going to be over 38. Like that's still going to get away from that. So he's not going to have to worry about, if he does sign a 2-year contract extension with the Rockets and 2 years from now he still wants to keep playing basketball, there's a rule based on the league that, would cause for some simple money terms. So he avoids that by waiting and then getting a 3-year deal because odds are he'll be done after that 3-year deal. And then the second part of it, a +1 deal. The big thing with the +1 deal, you're going to sign him for 2 years and then have that third year is basically an option. So in theory, he could, be done with it. You could be done with him. There's options on either side. What does the world of the NBA think? Well, that's where we go to the bottom part of this paragraph, where Spotrac's Kevin Smith has speculated that a compromise could be more realistic. He suggested Durant might land on a 2-year, $100 million contract, paying him $50 million annually, while giving him a player option for the summer of 2027. The structure would keep the focus on winning while still paying Durant at an elite level. And if you ask me, that should be the deal. That should be signed, sealed, and delivered today. The fact is, it's not. And so that's where I get a bit concerned, because I have loved every move that Rafael Stone has made, and I trust that he is going to make the right move. I would just like it to be sooner rather than later, because I don't want to have to go into the season and think, well, what if this is Kevin Durant's only season as a Houston Rocket? I don't want to think that. Like I said, there's a couple of things that kind of just waiting for the Houston Rockets in some ways, and in a lot of ways, you want Kevin Durant to be under contract for that. You want him to be a part of this and know that you can plan your team around that, because you get to the trade deadline. There's guys who are out there that maybe are on an expiring deal, maybe they aren't. You have to understand what the future is with Kevin Durant to make certain trades, to know what you're going to be needing in the upcoming season. So there's a lot of logistics going into it. I know there's money, and I know that it will eventually get resolved. Like, I do believe a contract will come into it, but it's not fun. It's not going to be a fun time. The good news, and something I wanted to end the show on kind of like a more a positive note, something like, oh, this is positive. If you don't know, Kevin Durant had kind of hurt his wrist. He had pretty much a wrist brace the last little bit of the season, was still going back, but Sleeper Rockets having this. A recent photo of Kevin Durant shows him with the wrist brace on, suggesting he'll be fully healthy for the start of the season. Love to see it. We got the picture here. You can see him with a fan, no wrist brace on, and very good to see. Definitely something that wasn't necessarily a huge concern for Rockets fans or Kevin Durant in that light, but it's nice to see that we're about a month away from training camp even, and he's not wearing that brace. So going to be able to come out, work really, really well, and hopefully have a really good training camp with the Houston Rockets. But I'm just ready for this contract to be done. I'm ready for the Rockets to lock down Kevin Durant. His field goal percentage obviously is great. I mean, all these stats, they're great. There's also intangibles with him that you'll love, and I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want to have to sign him to a 3-year deal if he chooses to do that, because that creates for more stipulations. There's Tari Eason to worry about, and what are you going to do with him? You want a max rookie contract extension probably for Amin Thompson ready next year in this cap table. I'm not going to say it's a concerning thing at all, but it's definitely something you want to look at, knowing that you have $68 million next year. If you can get by with $50 million on Kevin Durant, wait a year on the Amin Thompson rookie contract, then in that situation, you're going to be in great shape. Great shape. And I trust that hopefully will happen. But it is definitely cause for concern for a multitude of different reasons. But obviously, we kind of have to wait and see. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. And let me know, do you think Kevin Durant will play under contract at any point in the season? Do you think he'll wait for the entire year? When will a Kevin Durant contract extension be done? Technically, he has until June 1st of next year, so not exactly going to be rushing it on either side in some ways, but just from a fan's perspective, I want him to be playing on a new contract. although that might not be the case. So we just wait, we watch, and we report here back to you on Rockets Digest. So again, as always, if you've made it to the end of the video, you are obviously enjoying the content, so hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free, and we'll keep you up to date on the latest on Kevin Durant, his contract talks, and everything leading up to the 2025-2026 NBA season, where the Rockets will open up against the reigning champs in the Oklahoma City Thunder. We appreciate you joining us on today's show, and we'll see you next time here on Rockets Digest. Peace out, guys.